Cafe anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hey, you know what? This is a show where I do it daily. Although, not yesterday. Mike's Daily Podcast. I got distracted. There was this day off I had, and so I thought I'd enjoy it. And then I went around and I sit down and I sang this song, and it's great, and you're glad that I'm done. Thank you for listening to that song. It was wonderful. And the show's called Mike's Daily Podcast. What I would like to suggest to you is that you all... Oh, this is how the microphone Mike's is supposed to sit. Daily. I had it the wrong way. Podcast. Oh, dang it. Yeah. Okay, so we were in COVID, right? We were in coronavirus and lockdown and all that. And we had this room at my job that got abandoned. And there was a microphone that sat in this room. And this was abandoned. And it's a beautiful microphone. I love it. I have filmed little videoettes with it that you can see at the YouTube channel, mikesdailypodcast.com. I guess I have a youtube.com/mikesdailypodcast. And I would speak into this microphone, and I thought, oh, this is interesting. I don't know. There's something kind of wrong with it. It's on these little strings. I don't typically use this kind of mic. I don't know. But I like the way it sounds. It sounds all right. And then I realized just now that I had it upside down the whole time. It's supposed to be sort of hanging in the air instead of like you would see. A perfect example. This is an example everyone will know, and that is the band Journey and their huge song, the biggest song of their career, "When You Love a Woman." No, chances are you probably don't know that song unless you're a huge Journey fan. But it came out in the 90s. It was technically their last big hit song. It was a ballad, and it shows Steve Perry singing into the mic, and the mic is held up in the air.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And he's doing all this emoting, and you see the world inside her eyes. I never said I was Steve Perry. Anywho, this is how the mic is. It's hanging from the air here at Cafe Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on earth. And I will tell you what the podcast picture is momentarily. First, Basil's going to bark, and I'm going to tell you about nails. Think of the imperfection on your nails as being like the rings of a tree, providing insights into your habits and health history. You know what? This actually makes it a lot easier to read stuff. Thanks, Basil. Oh. Basil's saying, I could have told you the microphone was supposed to sit the other direction, you idiot. That explains why the strings are there. It holds it up. I know Basil. Dang. The late, great Basil the Boxer. Anyway, we're back to work. We are no longer sheltered in place, lockdown, whatever you want to call it. We're coming into work. And the guy that typically uses this room, he's coming back into this room. And he does not listen to the podcast, so I think I'm safe. Although someone that we both know listens to the podcast and will probably tell him. But at any rate, he never uses this microphone is the point. And I love this. So now I know how it's supposed to sit. He probably walked in and went, that's wrong. Why is that wrong? And flipped it around. But maybe that's what's happening where you are. People are going back to work. It is crazy. It is so crazy to think about it because we lived so long in a world where we were working at home and we weren't even thinking about, we'll never go back to work again. We'll never be in a theater again. We'll never be in an outdoor restaurant, indoor restaurant. We'll never do this again, et cetera, et cetera. And now we're doing it again. It's crazy. But don't ever forget there are people still suffering. And one of the coworkers that I have was telling me today that, hey, he knows someone pretty close to this person and they got the variant. So there you go. You know at least one person that... Hey, the podcast picture, I'm just going to tell you right now, is an interesting place. I think this is in Podcastro Valley. Yes. I took this picture about 2 years ago. It's this nice little house that sits in Podcastro Valley. And I like this picture, so I'm going to post it, and you'll see it at mikesdailypodcast.com. You can see this house, I think, from the 10 Hills Trail. Just if you didn't know. So we shouldn't forget that it is a disease that is still out there. It hasn't gone away. We've mitigated the chances of dying from it, those of us who have taken the vaccine. But we know from other countries the result of not. And, then there's the people that think the vaccine is killing people. So we will just leave it there for the moment because it was funny. Yeah, this is a picture from Coal Canyon Regional Recreation Area. Oh, wait a minute. I had the wrong spot. Where is this picture from? Hi, welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast, where Mike tries to figure out what the podcast picture is. And he thinks he knows, but he doesn't because his memory is awful. Nail health. All right. So look at your nails like it's rings on a tree and all that. Normally nails are smooth and one shade. However, if their appearance changes, it's a good thing to pay attention. This is a picture. Well, it's in Podcastro Valley. Let's just leave it at that. And then... oh, no kidding. Is there... really? Oh, this is this nice little area in Podcastro Valley I know rather well. And I had no idea this was from... Dang it, Mike. Looking at old pictures. That's the podcast. That's Mike's little advice to you today. Go and look at old pictures. Look at some of the pictures you've probably took and completely forgot about. You haven't saved somewhere. Look at those pictures because, dang it, you took those. You wasted memory to keep those pictures. You wasted energy to take the picture. You stopped for a moment to take the picture. Look at it because it means something. I think it all means something. Maybe that's what this podcast is about, is trying to decipher it all. Does it all mean something as we go outside a cafe anyway where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast? Somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Yes, if it doesn't work, turn it upside down, like this microphone. Small abnormalities in the nails, like bumps, dents, and ridges, usually aren't due to an internal cause. What are your nails trying to tell you? Bose lines. Horizontal lines running across the nails means malnourishment. Malnourishment. That's how you say that word, malnourishment. Diabetes, a zinc deficiency, peripheral vascular disease, or even pneumonia. That's Bose lines. Horizontal lines running across the nail. Gosh, if that's true, I should be dead. Brittle nail syndrome, a horizontal split or vertical split in the nails, means iron deficiency, or often caused by repeatedly wetting and drying the nails. Nail cosmetics, injury, or skin diseases like lichen planus, or would that be lichen planus, and psoriasis. Brown or black lines beneath the nail means medications, hormones, moles, melanoma, or you got your hands into something icky. Clubbing. What is clubbing? Well, it means going down to the club, and I'm going to put on something nice. A painless increase in tissue around the ends of the fingers is what clubbing is. Or inversion of the nail can be caused by cardiovascular diseases, liver diseases, pulmonary diseases, and inflammatory bowel disease. There's the half-white, half-pink nails, or Lindsay's nails, named after Lindsay Lohan. Okay, I'm sorry, not named after Lindsay Lohan. It can be caused by chronic kidney disease or kidney failure or film career failure. Irregular red lines at the base of the nail fold can be caused by connective tissue disease or lupus. Man, it's like worst case scenario what they're saying here. Wow. Yellowish nails with a slight blush at the base might be diabetes. And there's a couple other ones. Hey, you know what? I got this from the Costco connection. Because it's free. And because they give you little short stories. Always begin with your primary care doctor who is trained to tell the difference between innocuous and serious nail health conditions. She or he or it or whatever can take a complete history and order blood tests to find the answers you seek. Experts recommend the following tips for optimal nail health. Keep your nails clean and dry. Avoid nail biting or picking. Go bare if you can. It's by far the healthier way to do it. In removing nail polish, replenish the moisture in your nails by rubbing food-grade coconut oil onto them and the cuticles too. File your nails in one direction and round the top of the nail, the tip, slightly, not to a point. Don't remove or push the cuticles or clean too deeply under your nails. It can lead to infection, really, if you clean too much. Interesting. And don't dig out ingrown toenails. See a dermatologist if they become bothersome. Okay, a couple other things before we wrap it up. Today I was given some advice about how to manage my employees, and the management advice I got was to basically be an ogre, to rule with an iron fist, and to basically ride them. It's, I think, what I was told. Wow. So, thank you for the advice. Tone down the amount of coffee you drink. Maybe cut that back a little. And thank you again for your input. It's just, I get interesting advice. And you know what? And they don't see it from my side of the fence and from, the employee side of the fence. I find it interesting when I get advice from someone who did not have the trajectory to where I am and my job position. And they have this sort of a privileged view of things. And just they think everything runs like it did in the 1950s. And it don't. It's 2020s. And people are quitting their jobs because they don't want to go back to work. They don't want to go to a job and commute and go through all that heck they used to go through. They want to just work from home. It's a whole new world. People quit their jobs regularly. So, gotta be, it's a world where you have to be cognizant of all of these things. And interesting, I heard from some folks that are very, what we would call conservative. And they had some very interesting points to say about how we are looking at the American flag these days. I think I covered a story recently about how some people think the American flag should be changed. Oh, yeah, Macy Gray. I try to change the bubbles, even though I blow bubbles when you are not here. You know, how the flag needs to change and all that. And just, I feel, I'm as worried about ultra-conservative right-wing crazies as I am about the left-wing crazies that don't understand our history and see, yes, you have to see all sides of history. I see problems with both sides. It's very interesting, though, to hear all these arguments today, and even though 4th of July is over with, and there were lots of illegal fireworks blowing up in my neighborhood. And yes, it might be fun to blow up fireworks in the South where nothing can catch fire except maybe your roof of your house or your car. If you accidentally shoot a bottle rocket and lands in your car, blows it up. Hey, that was cool, but we just got to listen to each other, because there's all kinds of stuff out there that's very fascinating. And I guess that was pretty much... Oh, but they did bring up a good point about... There was recently a team representing the U.S. that wasn't even, putting their hand over their heart when the national anthem played. And that did bother me, especially when you're in another country. And the one question they asked that really got to me was, if you don't like the U.S., then why are you here? If you hate the U.S. so much, why are you here? You know, love it or leave it, that old cliche. And it made me think, yeah, I can't think of a place I'd rather be. I love this country. And if there are things you don't like about this country, you get up and you change it. And you work in the system and you change it. I don't necessarily believe in throwing a brick at anybody, anything. I don't like the whole destructive point of view of a lot of people. But there are constructive ways to do it and to not let frustration overtake you. All right, that's all I got to say. Now we're outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, and look who is here right now. I have no idea who's here because the lights just went out. That's the night that the lights went out in Georgia. That's the night that they hung an innocent man. You walk down to the day without a bound. Cause the judge, he's got bloodstains on his hand. Oh, you know what? But that's interesting that I just happened to sing that song. Or perhaps another very famous country song that you may or may not know by Martina McBride, Independence Day, where someone could not get justice on their own, so they took the law into their own hands. And a lot of people had problems with Martina McBride's Independence Day because it was that one, I don't care if it's right or maybe it's the only way. Talk about a revolution. It's Independence Day. And then Sean Hannity used that song all the time as his intro music. Yes, I went to to college with Sean Hannity. No, wait, he didn't actually go to UCSB, but he was at the radio station at UCSB in Santa Barbara. Nah, UCSB is not in Santa Barbara. It's in Goleta, technically. But yes, I saw him a couple of times. This is before he became famous and rich. But yeah, there you go. Maybe that's... Should the lady have set the house on fire with her cheating, abusive ex-husband or current husband in her house, set him on fire, burned him alive, burned him to a crisp, and murdered him? Should the song, The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia, what was it? Was it the sister that killed somebody? Or, no, I can't remember. It's been a while since I've listened to the song. That was originally Bobby Gentry did it. Yes. No, I don't think so. But there you go. We have a long history in America of revolution. And there you go. Wow, we just got really deep on our subject matter here on the podcast. I didn't mean to do that today. Oh, look who's here. Now I found him. Hi, Mike. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing? We were hiding behind this tree.
It's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Tell you what.
What?
Country music is the most true, beautiful music on the planet Earth. Don't throw a brick at me.
And look who else is here.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer Hester right now.
Thank you. Oh, this looks like some great root beer. I'm going to drink it.
Drink it right now. I'll cut you.
All right, that's not right either. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. Thank you for listening to episode 2267, 2267.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!